double stacked as well. Whoa, we got Cleetus going around.
Cleetus is going to go around. Oh, with heavy damage.
NASCAR officials told Garrett Mitchell earlier this year exactly what he needed to do before they would approve him for more National Series races. They were specific about it. On Wednesday night at Berlin Raceway, he went out and did precisely that thing, and it ended with his brand new super late model destroyed and another team loading a wrecked car onto a trailer. Whether that night helped his case or hurt it is the question nobody has answered yet. Let us go back to the beginning of that story because the instruction came first and the crash came second, and the order matters. Earlier this season, Garrett Mitchell, known to nearly 5 million subscribers as Cleetus McFarland, made his debut in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. He wanted to run a second race in that series at Talladega Superspeedway. NASCAR did not approve it. Officials said they wanted to see him race on more short tracks in the series alongside continuing his efforts in the ARCA Menard Series and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Mitchell addressed it directly in a video saying it is what it is, while confirming he had more Truck Series races on his schedule. That is the context that makes Wednesday night significant. Berlin Raceway is a short track. Running there was not a detour from the path NASCAR laid out for him. It was the path. Here is who we are talking about. Garrett Mitchell was born on the 5th of April, 1995, which makes him 31 years old. He is a native of Bradenton, Florida, and he owns the Freedom Factory racetrack there. For more than a decade, he has been one of the largest names in car culture on the internet. But over the past 2 seasons, he has been pursuing something considerably harder than online attention. In 2025, he made 4 ARCA Menard Series starts driving for Rhett Jones Racing. He raced at Daytona International Speedway, Talladega Superspeedway, Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Bristol Motor Speedway, scoring 2 top 10 finishes, including a 10th place finish at Talladega Superspeedway and a career-best 9th place finish at Charlotte Motor Speedway. In 2026, the program expanded considerably. This season, he has made a combined 9 starts across 2 ARCA divisions and the lower 2 NASCAR National Series. He finished 11th in the ARCA Menard Series race at Daytona International Speedway in February. He finished 4th in the ARCA Menard Series East event at Rockingham Speedway in April. And on the 25th of April, he finished 2nd in the ARCA Menard Series race at Talladega Superspeedway, which stands as the best result of his career so far. He also made his NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series debut at Daytona International Speedway in February, driving the number 4 Chevrolet for Nice Motorsports, sponsored by Black Rifle Coffee Company. There is one more piece of that background that deserves a sober mention. Mitchell built a close connection with the late NASCAR great Greg Biffle, who served as an advisor for his ARCA debut at Daytona International Speedway. Biffle and his family were killed in a plane crash on the 18th of December. Mitchell spoke at Biffle's gathering of remembrance and emphasized the motto to be like Biff. Now notice what every single one of those starts has in common. Daytona International Speedway, Talladega Superspeedway, Charlotte Motor Speedway, Michigan International Speedway, Kansas Speedway, Nashville Superspeedway. Those are superspeedways and intermediate tracks. In that kind of racing, the draft and the aerodynamic package do an enormous amount of the work. Berlin Raceway is a completely different discipline. Berlin Raceway is a .438-mile bullring located in Marne, Michigan. It is high-banked, the corners are tight, and cars get loose without warning. The margin for error is extremely small. Carson Hocevar, a NASCAR Cup Series driver and a friend of Mitchell's who won this same event back in 2004, once described the place by saying there has never been a perfect race car at Berlin Raceway, and that the whole exercise comes down to who is the best of the worst in handling. So for his first ever super late model start, Mitchell did not pick a forgiving track. He picked one of the most difficult ones available in the country. The field did not make it any easier. 30 cars were entered for the Tekton 250 battle at Berlin, and 27 of them took the green flag. Tristan McKee, a rising young star in pavement racing and a prospect for Spire Motorsports, was there. So was Bubba Pollard, widely regarded as one of the all-time greats of super late model racing. Carson Hocevar was in the field. So was Majeski, a NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion. Terry Seneker, Joey Doran, Trayton Lapsovich, and Kyle Steckley were all entered as well. 250 laps, $40,000 to the winner, against drivers who have spent entire careers mastering exactly this type of car at exactly this type of track. And for Garrett Mitchell, this was lap 1 of his super late model career. In hot laps, Mitchell ran a lap of 16.366 seconds, which lined him up 22nd in the starting order. For comparison, Carson Hocevar was 4th quickest at 16.216 seconds. FloRacing confirmed the starting position before the race, noting that Mitchell would start 22nd at Berlin Raceway following qualifying. The race got eventful early. Mitchell caught himself in a spin while attempting to avoid an incident happening ahead of him. He kept the car off the wall and rejoined the field without ending his night on the spot. At a track like Berlin Raceway, where a moment like that regularly ends with a car on the fence, saving it was the first genuinely encouraging data point of his evening. From there, he did not settle into a survival run at the back. He worked forward into the pack. The middle portion of the race brought the standard attrition of short track competition. He rubbed fenders. He battled a tire rub. And while he was being lapped, race leader Evan Szotko reacted to contact between the two cars by showing him a middle finger as he went by. That moment is worth understanding correctly. It is not a scandal. It is a race leader who is frustrated with traffic on a small racetrack. But it tells you something concrete about where Mitchell was running. He was not 2 laps down and invisible somewhere at the tail of the field. He was close enough to the front that the leader of the race had to work around him. Being in the leader's mirror is a meaningful place for a rookie to be. It is also precisely the place where a rookie gets into trouble. Meanwhile, the race for the win was developing at the front. Evan Szotko, who had won this event a few years earlier, led much of the night. Then, with just under 15 laps remaining, problems arose. He gave up the lead to Bubba Pollard and second position to Tristan McKee. And then something appeared to break on the right front of his number 22 machine. He went hard into the turn 3 wall, ending his night just shy of the checkered flag. Evan Szotko finished 16th. That set up a late race battle for the victory between Bubba Pollard and Tristan McKee. The two were racing door to door with a handful of laps remaining when Pollard appeared to bottom out entering turn 3. That sealed it. Tristan McKee went on to take his first victory in the Tekton 250 battle at Berlin. Bubba Pollard settled for second, with NASCAR Cup Series driver Carson Hocevar third, NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion Majeski fourth, and Boris Yurkovich fifth. Now to the moment that ended Mitchell's night. With 19 laps to go, Mitchell got loose in turn 3 as leader Evan Szotko was closing in to put him a lap down. His own explanation was simple and self-critical. He said he overcooked the corner and got loose. The car snapped around and slid down the racetrack. Evan Szotko managed to thread through and avoid him. The car directly behind did not have that option. That car belonged to Keith Herp, driving the number 18, running 14th at the time and already a lap down. Mitchell's spinning car collected him, tearing apart Mitchell's nose and the entire right side of Herp's machine. When the race ended, Garrett Mitchell was scored 19th out of 27 starters in the number 33M. Keith Herp finished 18th. What happened immediately afterward is the part the short track community has actually been discussing. Speaking to FloRacing in the infield, Mitchell offered no excuse. He said, "Well, I just suck," and apologized for the incident. He then walked over to Keith Herp's team in person and spoke with them directly that same night. Before any statement was issued and before any video was published, he expanded on it in a video uploaded to his social media accounts after the race. He opened by pointing out that Herp got the worst of the crash, noted that he had already gone over to talk with his team, and apologized again. He explained the spin honestly rather than staying quiet about it. Then he said something that a lot of NASCAR fans may not expect from a driver who has spent his season on superspeedways. "Completely got my ass kicked tonight, but I learned a lot, man. The racecraft that you need to pass somebody when there's really just no good place to pass was insane. It was so competitive. This is just as hard as the big series in NASCAR." He closed the video by confirming that the damage to his new super late model is fixable and that he needs to get back out there and keep learning. Short track paddocks talk. Word travels quickly in that community about which drivers own their mistakes and which ones do not, walking directly to the team you collected on the same night, on camera, is the kind of thing that buys a rookie a second chance in that garage area. So how should this performance actually be graded? There is a case on both sides. The case that it was acceptable. These were his first competitive laps in a super late model at one of the hardest short tracks in the country against a field containing multiple former winners of this exact event. He started 22nd, worked into the middle of the field, was racing in the leader's lap traffic rather than hiding, and saved an early spin without hitting the wall. The case that it was not, he damaged another competitor's race car through his own error, and Keith Herp was an innocent party in it. 19th out of 27 is still 19th. And raw pace is not the same thing as racecraft. Racecraft is exactly what Berlin Raceway tests, and that is the area where the night went wrong. A reasonable summary is that it was a defensible debut with an indefensible ending, and Mitchell was the first person to say so. What happens next is immediate. Approximately 6 weeks ago, the Freedom Factory announced registration for the first ever Cleetus McFarland Late Model Series race at Berlin Raceway, scheduled for Saturday the 15th of August. 75 laps. $20,000 to the winner. Same racetrack, same week, with Mitchell serving as both promoter and entrant. Whether he takes the green flag in a repaired chassis, a backup car, or something assembled in a hurry has not been publicly confirmed. He said the damage is fixable. Fixable and fixed by Saturday are not the same statement, and no one has clarified which applies. And that brings the story back to where it started. NASCAR wanted more short track experience before granting further approvals. Berlin Raceway is short track experience. The wreck is poor optics, but the repetitions are the point of the exercise. Mitchell has not yet set a firm late model racing schedule. His next confirmed NASCAR start comes on the 23rd of October, driving the number 4 truck for Nice Motorsports at Talladega Superspeedway. He is building a racetrack, a racing series, and a driving career simultaneously. And Wednesday night at Berlin Raceway was the tuition payment on the third one. So here's the question worth arguing about in the comments. Does Garrett Mitchell belong on a short track alongside Bubba Pollard and Tristan McKee right now? Or does he need a full season of these races before that conversation is a serious one?